Tell me about umbrella insurance. So, umbrella insurance, it's sneaky. Umbrella insurance is not a term that means the same thing at each insurance company. There are two different things that you really need to look for when you're buying umbrella insurance. Umbrella insurance to some companies only covers the underlying policies that you have with them. So let's say you've got two of your five properties insured with one company. And if you bought an umbrella policy from them, it would only cover those two. So if you had anything happen at those other three, it just would not be covered. Like, let me talk about Safeco for a second, just because I know it. So Safeco, in order to have a personal umbrella with them, then you have to have your auto policy with them. However, Safeco is a little bit sensitive towards real estate investors specifically. And last I checked, if you had more than 16 properties, Safeco did not want to insure you. So your umbrella would not, in the underwriting process, I'm sure it would cover you if you had something happen and you had more than 16 properties, but it would likely non-renew shortly after that claim. If I were a guessing man, I don't know, and I'm not speaking on behalf of Safeco. So there's like what's called a true umbrella, which is all of your stuff. And generally, it's the companies that are a little bit more insured friendly. So I guess the first thing that I would say is, because insurance is so nuanced, you should not be working with like a captive insurance agent. You should not be working with an Allstate, a State Farm, any of the ones that you see very heavily marketed. I would instead go to like an independent agent who's got the ability to represent multiple insurance companies, and I would tell them everything that you own, all of the things that you're planning, and let them come up with like a creative way to ensure all of your stuff and best protect you. The Allstates, the State Farms, these captives, first off, they only have one product. Second, they have massive quotas. So even if they are your really good friends and they act like they have your best interests, at the end of the day, you're just a number they got to get through real quick so that they can meet all their numbers for the month. Independent agents, the relationship is a lot more important. They have different options. So one company non-renews you, turns your back on you, you don't like them, you don't have to go out and find another insurance agent. You just get requoted through that same agent with a different company. And again, in umbrella insurance, each company, they have their own policy. They have their own policy forms. So it's not, umbrellas are one of those things that it's just not so easy to describe them in detail, just because with each different insurance company, it means something different. You should have an umbrella policy for equal to or greater than your net worth. So, like, let's say you're worth $2 million, you should have a $2 or $3 million umbrella. Now, once you pass like that $5 million net worth threshold, I think it changes a little bit, and then it would be best to get an insurance agent and an attorney in the same room to creatively discuss how to best protect all of your assets. And the umbrella insurance, like what it does is, your auto insurance, like the highest limits I've ever seen are $1 million per occurrence, $2 million aggregate. So one occurrence, if you do more than $1 million worth of damage, then the coverage under that auto policy runs out. So if your net worth is 2 million and the attorneys or the defense or whatever, I don't know, civil lawsuit, whoever comes at you for, let's say, $3 million, then after they exhaust successfully in the courtroom more than $1 million worth of damages, then now you are personally liable for anything in excess of $1 million. So that's why I say equal to or greater than your net worth. So that way, if your net worth is 2 million, they exhaust that first $1 million of auto liability. Then now your umbrella will pick up and cover up to $2 million on top of that. So now you have a total of $3 million worth of coverage rather than just that 1 million. So now they have to exhaust $3 million worth of insurance before you are personally liable for all of those. It's also important to note that it has to be a covered loss. So auto liability has to agree that it's a covered loss, and the umbrella insurance has to agree that it's a covered loss. Some umbrellas, the true umbrellas, as what some companies will call them, it can start at $1. So let's say you do something in your car that the auto insurance policy determines it's not a covered loss. So, from the auto policy perspective, you could potentially be liable from the first dollar. However, a true umbrella has the ability to kick in from that first dollar. So, even though it's not covered on your insurance policy, it might be covered under your umbrella insurance up to 3 million. So, that's the benefit in a nutshell of the umbrella policy. And of course, the more underlying assets that you have, the more expensive that true umbrella insurance policy should be. So if you're a real estate investor with 12 homes and still your personal home and your personal auto, then you have a lot more exposure to that insurance company under that umbrella policy than somebody that, let's say, rents a house, has an auto, and that same umbrella policy. They have much less exposure. Consequently, your umbrella that covers everything, all of your dealings, all of your underlying assets, is going to be a lot more expensive for you.
Thanks for watching that clip. I thought that was a good question. And I think you can ask good questions too. Join us every Friday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for a live stream Q&A where we answer plenty of questions just like this one. In the meantime, consider subscribing to the channel if you want more of this content. And if you want to increase your deal flow, analyze properties better, and help me feed my family, click the link below for a free 7-day trial of PropStream.